Hello, welcome to Doghead Tech and to episode 3 in a series where we try and bring faulty gaming equipment back from the dead. In the last episode we were able to revive a limited edition Wii remote, and in this episode we have another game cartridge, Pokémon game cartridge for that matter, which seems to have the dreaded liquid damage, and I'll show you that a little bit more closely. I haven't opened this up, I haven't had a look. All I've seen is just what's on this little line of pins down here. It was bought on eBay. The seller stated that it just needed a new battery and the label was a bit worn. However, this looks pretty grisly, so I'm not entirely sure if they've been totally truthful. But let's see. Let's get it open. Let's have a look at what we're actually working with. So let's show you what I'm talking about. Oh, I can't even slide that. It's very, very sticky. Wow, check that out. Very, very sticky. Oh dear. Now that's not very good at all. That being said, it doesn't actually look as though anything's corroded. Oh dear. But that is the most disgusting. Right, so the first thing, quite obviously, is to clean all this up and see what we're working with. Yeah, that's pretty gross. I mean, if I am able to get this cleaned up, battery replaced, get it working, then I do have a label for this, which I can pop straight on. So, no waiting around for shipping. Let's get this under the mic. I've done a little bit of cleaning already, but you can see, I'm assuming it's like a cola drink or something along those lines, because it's very dark, very sticky. It smells very sweet. Look at that. It's properly caked, but no corrosion. I'm going to move it over to the Mac because I'm having to put so much pressure down on this cartridge that I'm actually sliding around a little bit. So you kind of get the gist as to what's going on. I'd soak this stuff in IPA. However, I think seeing as we're going to be replacing the label on this anyway, I reckon soaking this with some hot soapy water will probably dissolve a lot of this stuff. So that'll probably be the best course of action. So I'm going to put that to one side and we'll focus on cleaning this board up. I mean, I think you'll agree that that looks a hell of a lot better. That is just one side. We do still have all of this stuff down here to get off. Tell you what, I'll do that off camera and then I'll come back once we are all clear of this gunk. Okay, so we may have just found our first problem on the board. I'm hoping this is going to be the only one. However, these wires up here look pretty horrendous. So I'm hoping that this, again, is just surface. How does it look on the other side? So I think we're coming up here. Yeah, that looks pretty, they look pretty well gone. I've cleaned this off now. It should be copper with this nice green solder mask on it. And it's been eaten away significantly, which is pretty mad considering the rest of the board looks really, really great. And they go through onto this other side here. And here we do have a large pad. So I'm tempted to get a couple of wires, feed them through here, and then solder them onto the other side here. That'll create the connection that we need. I don't know what the purpose of this rail is. It doesn't really seem to go anywhere apart. He says there's more over here. So this is following this over. We've got, oh, we do actually have quite a lot of corrosion. I mean, the longer I'm looking at this, the more problems I'm finding. How are we looking on these pins? Oh dear, okay, we've got gunk on this. So this chip here, this will need to come off. I'll get this one off as well whilst I'm there. Okay, so this is, oh wow. Okay, we've got corrosion here as well. Okay, this is turning into a bigger job than I thought it would be. But I still think this is definitely savable. This board is pretty much clean, so I just need to remove these chips, remove this battery, reflow these pins. However, before I do that, off camera, I am going to take these and wash them, because even knowing they're sitting on my desk is grossing me out. Whatever that gunk was, it is no more. So now we can proceed with actually removing this label. Onto the Game Boy cartridge. Let's bring this guy in. So this will hold things in place. I'm going to do the 3 sides. So I'm going to be using the hot air going in this direction. So first things first, let's remove the battery. Okay, so there's 1, there's 2. They are smoking hot. So what are we working with? I'll tell you what, that doesn't look any better, does it? That is definitely corroded. Oh man, I don't want to say this isn't fixable. Well, I'll tell you what, before we make a plan to fix this, let's see what was going on under the other chip. Oh dear. I actually had someone leave a comment on my first episode, the Pokemon Leaf Green episode, stating that they probably would have bought another PCB and transferred over the ICs. This is a perfect example. This board here that I'm currently working on is a perfect example as to why that would be a really good fix. So this part is underneath that first chip again. I'm just tidying up a little bit. So these run to this pin on this chip here. So this is an important connection. We then need to rebuild this pin here. That actually goes to our battery. What I might do is just run a wire going over to the base of this resistor here. And then this guy, we need to run a wire through this wire and connect it up to this pin. However, I'm going to lay it down across here, I think. Just realised I haven't been recording. Fantastic. So, I've run a wire, very small wire from this resistor here, through this little wire here, onto the other side. And now I'm just going to spot this in, and that will be rebuilt. So this is one of about 5 or 6 that I think I need to do. So yeah, very invested repair. Right, so it's the next day. I was going a little bit cross-eyed, so I did have to kind of chill a little bit, but I ended up finding more problems on the board that required trace repair. So let me just show you in order to rectify that. So you can see here we've got this dead wire here. I was going to rebuild this, put a wire under here. However, on the other side, we've also got a dead wire down here, and that's connected to the first dead wire. So instead, I'm going to be running a wire directly from this pad here, once we have the IC back on, all the way over to, I think it's one of these guys, and that will essentially rebuild that trace. I have also run a wire from this pad here to bypass this through this hole here and onto the ground plane on the back. I think this is ground plane. I've also soldered some wire here going through these 2 wires that are now on this part of the board. So there's a lot there. These pins I've given a little bit of a clean up and they've come up rather well. If we can get this working, then we know that there's no problems with these, but I'll reflow them anyway. If it doesn't work, then this will be my next protocol. I think I've rebuilt all these traces and I think they're fine. Just to add it into the mixture as well, when I was cleaning this chip, I've broken off a leg. So there is a little nub on there, so I am gonna see if I can take a small wire and essentially create another leg out of that wire. Then we're ready for testing. So yeah, as I said earlier, I broke this leg off whilst I was cleaning it. These things happen. Some of the fun and games when you're working with such small stuff. To repair this now, I need to try and attach this wire onto this little nub. I mean, something else that I can do is potentially get the IC soldered onto the board. And then try and bridge the gap maybe. Tell you what, yeah, I'm gonna do that. So let's hand solder this IC minus leg back onto this board. So a little bit of flux. Now we need to get more solder on that. Solder this in place, but it's going to be very fiddly. Right, I'm going to use the solder that's already on board here to kind of get this into place, so I should in theory just be able to run my iron across all of these. Right, and there, finally, is the jumper wire installed. So this is ready to test. Let's get this cleaned up and let's see if this works. If this doesn't work, then I'm gonna have to call it a day, I think. I'm not gonna lie, my hopes aren't very high for this, but let's try it. Oh. We've actually got a working game. But let's not get ahead of myself. I could put a battery in it, it might not save because something else might be faulty, so let's test that aspect of things before I get too excited. Right, it's popping back in. Now let's test the save feature. Oh no, it's not doing it. No, it's not working. Right, one last go. I'm going to reflow these pins really quickly. I really don't want to call it there, but if this doesn't work, then I'm going to have to draw a line somewhere. What do you guys reckon? Do you think it's going to work? I don't. Oh, it doesn't work. I think we're going to have to draw a line under this and say that I cannot fix this. Right, hello there. This is a few days after I initially wrapped up this video. This video doesn't end at me drawing the line here. And that's because I was editing the video that you're currently watching and noticed this bit. Doesn't really seem to go anywhere apart. He says there's more over here. And it very quickly dawned on me that I actually didn't repair that trace. So I've pulled out my soldering iron, very quickly made a jumper wire between those 2 points, which I'll show you now. I mean, as you can tell, I'm very excited. So I've now run a jumper wire between these 2 points, popped some solder mask on it. I tested this, I saved a game, and now this has a save game on it. It now saves the game. And there it is. There's our save game. It works. That tiny little trace was why the save files were corrupting. It just still doesn't change the fact that I can't sell this on my store. It still had too much work done in order for me to morally sell it as a fully functioning product. However, it is fully functioning. So let's get a label on this then, I guess. Which is my favourite part. I mean, it's all well and good. It working, it needs to look good, right? And there we have it. That was a bit of a roller coaster fix. I thought it was going to be super easy, a bit of a clean up, a battery replacement, new label, and then done. However, it turned into a bit of a nightmare, and we still managed to get it done, which is great. So really chuffed with this fix. Really happy with it. If it was day to day, if I wasn't filming this, then I probably wouldn't have put so much time into this, only because it's that old cliche of time is money. And I've put in a lot of man hours into this, which I wouldn't ordinarily do with something that's sort of around the £20 mark. However, the sheer satisfaction of actually bringing this back to life, I genuinely can't put a price on. So really chuffed, really happy with this, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. And on that note, thank you very much for watching this video. It genuinely means a lot. If you did enjoy what you watched, then do like and subscribe. It genuinely means a lot to me. And don't be shy of saying hello and dropping a comment below. If you do want to see things that I have fixed and refurbished that I do have for sale, then check out my website. That's listed below as well. And hopefully I'll see you again soon in another video. So thank you very much. Cheers. Bye-bye.